what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'll be showing you how to mask in Photoshop, and in this video particularly I'll be showing you how to mask using different selection tools, and it's really powerful. Some of them, not as fast as others, but they'd be like more accurate and so on. So let me just show you a few different ways of masking, and you can decide which one you want to use, because there's so many different ways you can mask in Photoshop, and this is just using different selection tools. So what I have here is two images. I have in this layer I have this image, which you can see here in layer 2, and this is my first layer, which is kind of like an abstract three-color image. So what I show you today is how to mask specific shape or object in or out of your image. So in this case, this orange here on the left side, which is, let me just give like a little selection here. So I'm going to try to mask this orange onto my other image, which is this right here. So the first way I'll show you is using if you go to your Select tab and click on Color Range. This one's really powerful. So what it does is you pretty much click the eyedrop icon and keep clicking on colors that you want or you don't want in your image, and it will select those colors. So in my case, let me just cancel that. I want all the oranges and I want all the reddish colors. So let me just do it again. Make sure your layer is selected and do Select, Color Range, and as you can see, it already selects the orange for me. So let me just keep selecting all these oranges. So I'll just keep adding, and there's a plus or minus, so if you get any color that you don't want, you just have to click the minus eyedropper and it will delete that color. As you can see, it turns white, and plus eyedropper, it will add that color. So obviously I want all the oranges here, so let me just keep clicking and adding those colors. And this one is not as accurate, so sometimes you have to play around. Let me just try to undo this and undo these, and this is pretty good, looks pretty good. So just keep in mind you have the eyedropper, which is your main color. You can just click on whatever you want to keep, so in this case it will be orange, and then all the plus eyedroppers is keeps adding to that selection. So I want the yellow orange, the red orange, the purple orange, and so on. I just keep clicking to adding the selection. And then the purple that shows up here I don't want, so I'll just undo that. So we're left with this right here. So now you can just click OK, and it's going to make a selection for you. And from there you can just click on the mask button on the bottom here. It says Add Layer Mask, and as you can see, we got a perfect selection out of that image, the first image, and everything else got masked. So now we can play with the overlay modes and see which one we like and so on, but this video is not about overlay modes. So let me just undo that and show you another way that you can mask. So this was using the color range. Another one is using the pen tool. Obviously you can select with your pen tool. So if you click P, that's your pen tool. Zoom right in, and this one's obviously more accurate because you can get in there and paint in your mask as best as you can. You can always edit it. So I'm just clicking and selecting all of it, all the stuff that I want in my mask. So we got a little bend here, something like this, and then I'm clicking Option to break the handles, and I'll just keep clicking, keep selecting, just like that. Go up, keep selecting. And the pen tool is the most accurate case. Sometimes we're lazy, we don't want to play around with different options, and we want instant results. But your pen tool can get really nice results. So as you can see, I got the selection going, and without switching from your pen tool, you can just right click and do make selection, and just click OK here, and it's going to do the same thing. As you can see, it made a selection. And now we can just click the mask button, what I did before, and we got a perfect mask once again. So the pen tool is a little bit more accurate than color range. You know, sometimes it doesn't pick up all of the stuff that you need. And as you can see, you really got a nice and crisp result. So the first one was the color range, and the second one is the pen tool to make your selection and then mask it out. So let me just undo that and undo the selection. So the third way is using your quick or magic wand to select the object that you want to mask. So the magic wand, you know, it's a little bit weird. You know, it doesn't select as good. I'm holding shift by the way to keep adding to my selection. As you can see, it gets all weird. So let me just undo that. And the better option is the quick selection tool. And what it does, if you drag it from top here and just hold it, it keeps adding to that selection. So let me just try to select as best as possible. And sometimes, you know, if your image is high quality, it can really select all the parts that you need. So as you can see here, we really got a decent selection. So in here, let me just zoom in, make the brush a little bit smaller, and try to add this little piece in there. But keep in mind, this is a mask, so we can always edit the mask later. It doesn't have to be, you know, 100% perfect. So let me just add that in, and add that in. This is pretty okay. Let's check up top. Looks pretty good. See, it kind of clips here. It doesn't add all the corners here, but that's okay. Let me just try to add this piece in. And we're missing this orange piece. Let me just add that in. Oops, let me make the brush a little bit bigger. So we got that in. And I'll show you how to fix the selection later. Okay, so we got a pretty nice selection here, and it was quick. So now we do the same thing. We just mask it out, click the mask. And as you can see, we got a perfect mask there. So now we can click on our mask, and we can always edit the mask. So whatever we're missing, like these sharp angles here, as you can see. So let me just click on my brush here and paint it in. As you can see, we're missing those sharp edges. So let me undo. So what you can do now is make your brush smaller, and by holding shift, you can click once here, and then go all the way down. Click and hold shift, keep clicking. As you can see, we get those corners back. So shift, click once, click again, and we get in the back. And now we can do the same thing by revert. So if you click X, it's going to switch to black on the masking. So we can just click here, hold shift, click, and subtract that. And same thing here. You know, click, hold shift, and subtract that. And same thing here. Let's move it a little bit bigger. Click here, hold shift, and as you can see, we got those edges back. So you can come back and you know, when you have a more complicated image, you can always come back and edit your mask. That's not really a problem. So this is the third way of selecting masking, which is really useful. So let me just undo that or delete the mask. Oops. Delete the mask. Okay, so we're back to this. So I showed you color range, pen tool, and quick selection. Another way you can do is obviously select the mask, which is another quick way of doing it. So as you can see, if you go to your selection tab, select the mask. It's kind of the same thing. You know, you just quick select your stuff. But this way you have more options. So as you can see, let me add that in and add that in. And also for the view mode, it's sometimes better to switch it to overlay or on layer. So as you can see, we get something like this, and that way you can see where you're masking. And from there, you can play around with the options here. So global refinements, you have you know, how smooth it's going to be, your feather option, you can feather in or out, as you can see. You can play around with that and get a really nice blending effect. So, you know, even though you're getting those sharp edges, you can always blend it in. And contrast, as you can see, you can play around with that. And shift edge, you can come in or out, you know, clip your mask or extend your mask. So I'm happy with something like this. Click OK, and it makes the same selection. And now you can just mask it, and you get this kind of result, which is really nice. As you can see, it blends right in. And then from there, like I said, you can always play around with your um, blending modes. So you can do light and so on. As you can see, you really get a nice blending effect. Maybe try soft light. Yeah, that's pretty good. Or maybe even screen. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we can drop the opacity of the layer, maybe something like this, and keep working. But these two images are just for example. There's so many different cases that you can mask, but I'm just trying to show you the basics of selection tools and masking at the same time. But anyway, guys, that's about it. So just keep in mind you can do the masking with color range. You can do it with the quick selection. You can do it with select and mask, which is this right here, and you can also do it with the pen tool. So that's about it. These are the 4 different ways of masking in Photoshop. And in my next video, I'll be showing you some other ways you can mask and refine your different selections and so on. Anyway, thanks you for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Goodbye.